So we have this Excel file and I have not saved it, right? Okay. Today we'll learn how to do programming. So what we have been doing so far is you can say it's called generally formula in Excel, but you can think of it as a one-line commands, right? Whether we did data table or we did if else, right? Um, we did one line, okay? And we always start with something like equal to, right? Equal to, and then we write whatever we want to write. So equal to indicates that it's a formula in Excel and it has to be one line. You can't have multiple lines, okay? VBA is programming where you can add multiple lines of code, okay? So in a way, it becomes easy, okay? Because let's say in formula, if you have to create if else, complex if else, you can, right? But since you are putting everything together, sometimes it can get confusing with brackets and things like that. But VBA, you can take your time, you can write in multiple lines, right? But at the same time, since it is multiple lines, it is even more powerful, right? You can do a lot more stuff. So today's session is to give you introduction about VBA and to tell you how it works, okay? So every Excel has a code editor, okay? It's called VBA editor, which generally you don't see here, okay? You can say Alt F11, I think, yes. Alt, and if you press F11, okay, you get this editor, you see, okay? It is called VBA editor, okay? So I have two Excel file open, okay? One is called authors v1 XLS, and this is the one that we created. So you can see both the Excel are here. And since I've opened this book one Excel, so book one Excel is there. Now, in Excel objects, you will see sheet 1 and this workbook. So you can write some formula, some code in sheet 1 Excel or even in workbook. Okay. So all our code will be on this screen. Alt F11 will open it. Okay. Now, when we add, okay, now let's say we click on this workbook. You see, these are the properties. Okay, so so this is called this workbook. You can give it a change in name, but generally this workbook is what we prefer. It has all these properties. You can change all these properties, but we don't need to do anything right now. Okay. Then what do we do? Then let's look at writing some code here. Okay, so I'm going to sheet 1. Okay, so this is sheet 1. Okay, everything that we write here is in terms of functions. Okay, so what is a function? Function is a is a name that we give to block of code, right? So you can write multiple lines of code, okay, and you give it a name, okay? So when you call that name, the entire, okay, block of code is called, okay? So every time we write the code in function, okay, or also it's called a sub procedure, okay, in VBA. So we write sub procedures. Okay, it's nothing but name that we give to block of code. Okay, so let's say I create I create, okay, sub procedure like test 1. Okay, so the moment you create sub test 1, it added a end sub, indicates that this is the end of the procedure, and whatever we write within these two will belong to this procedure, right? So you can give a comment also in VBA. We write comment using this what you call single quote. This is quote. Yeah, it's single quote only, right? And we can say this is a sample procedure. Okay, and it will turn into green, indicating that um, it's a mm, um, it's a comment. Okay, so you can write comment like this. This is how you declare a function. Okay, this is the end sub indicating end of the code here. Now inside this, okay, we'll write our code. Okay, so let's start with code called message box MSG, sorry, MSGBOX. Okay, message box. Whatever we write here in this, it is used to display on the screen. Okay, so whatever I write, it will be displayed on the screen. Okay, so let's say I put message box bracket open. Since it's a function, I have to put bracket open, and the text that you will write will be in quotation. Now you see here, when you say message box, it is giving us all these options. So first option is prompt. What do you want to display? Okay, then whatever you see in square bracket, right? Those are not mandatory fields. Okay, okay, all of them have some specific meaning, but to run this message box, you don't have to do all these things. Okay, but we'll see what each of these things mean. First is prompt, which is mandatory. Prompt means what do you want to display on the screen? So I'll say, welcome to VBA world, right? So this prompt is done. Next, okay, these are different types of buttons. Okay, VBA abort, retry, ignore. Abort, retry, ignore. So when you choose these, you will get 3 buttons on the screen, whether you can retry, abort, or ignore. Okay, then you have VBA critical. It will have a critical sign there. Okay, these are default button. This is exclamation, VBA information, message, help button, message box, right? So we'll do a couple of things, but I want you to try and see what it means. Each of these. You have retry, cancel. Okay, so let's try retry, cancel. And this is the title. Okay, so I'll say message box. Yeah. And I close it. Now, okay, since it's a retry thing, right? You need to capture the results. If I don't do all these things, if I don't give the button type, then equal to is not important, because here I'm just displaying the message. Okay, let me just display the message, then we'll come back to retry, cancel. Okay, so this is the function which I've written test1, and I have put one line called message box, which is prompting this message, welcome to VBA world. The function will not be called until you call it specifically. Okay, you have to call this function, only then this function will be called. Okay, so let's say I save it and okay, so I'm saving it, right? Because I created a new Excel, the Excel is not saved. Okay, now I'm going to desktop, I want to save it. Now see, if you save here, okay, this extension is XLX, right? XLX will remove any VBA code. Okay, so if you want to save this VBA code, you have to save it as XLSM. Okay, so you go here and you select Excel macro enabled workbook. Okay, so you select Excel macro enabled workbook. Okay, this is where your information, your macros will be saved. Otherwise, your macros will not be macros. We also call it as macro. Okay, the VBA code. So now I'm going to say VBA practice 1.xlsm and I save it. Okay, so this is saved and I can close it for now. So this file has that code, but that code will not be called until unless we specifically call it. Correct? So let's say I put it here as welcome and I want to add a button, okay, which will, when you click on it, it should call that macro. Okay. Now you'll see a developer tab here. When you don't see a developer tab, that means we have to add the developer tab here. Developer tab is used to handle VBA coding. Okay. So if you don't see, that means we have to add it. Okay. So go to file. Okay. Go to options. Okay. Customize ribbon. Okay. Customize ribbon. And these are the all options available on the left side. And these are the options which are added currently to our Excel. So if you see for developer tab here, do you see developer tab here somewhere? Okay. All commands, not all commands, sorry. All tabs you can say. Okay. All tabs.
Developer is there.
I missed it. Where do you see?
It's
Oh, it's here already there.
before summer.
Yeah. No, it's already here. Does that it's not checked?
Oh yeah.
Okay, it's
Okay.
already added. So I check it and I say okay. See, the developer would appear here. Okay. Now you go to developer. Okay. These are different options. We can even record our macro. Okay. We'll do one recording as well. Okay. You can click on macros. Okay. It shows that this has one macro code here written. Right. It shows it has sheet1.test1. Okay. And I'm going to say insert. Okay. Insert. And these are the controls you have: form control and ActiveX control. ActiveX controls are new. It has more powerful. So you can choose, ActiveX control. So this is a button. Okay. So I'll put a button like this. So you get a command button here, right? Now I can see the view code and properties. Okay. So to change this property, buttons property, I'll click on properties. So see, it's the name is command button 1. Okay, you can keep it like that or you can change it as well. But what is important is this color. Let's say I want to change the color to something else. Okay, I want to change the caption to welcome message. Okay, then let's say I want to change the foreground color. Instead of black, I want to use maybe black. Okay, now height, left, all these things. I want to change the text font here. So if you click here, it tells you, right? Calibri. Okay, I want to make it 18, bold. Okay. See, it became Calibri 18 bold. Okay. So I'm done with the properties. Okay. So I clicked outside, so now it's showing sheet 1 properties, right? So which is specific to the sheet. I close it. Okay. So now this button is there. Now I need to add that code to it. So if you click here on this button, it should generate that code. So I go here, right click on it. Okay. Okay. Right click on it and you can see view code. Okay. So view code will come here. Now see, by default, it clicked on command button click 1. Okay. Now let's say if I don't want this test, I can copy and paste this here. Okay, one option is this. Second option is you can link. Okay, so this is source here. You can even link that function to it. Okay, but let's say here I have, we have this command button one. Okay, and I want to add this here. Okay, maybe I'll comment here now. So now VBA code is active. Now you see design mode, right? Design mode is done when you are adding these design buttons, when you are designing your VBA screen or VBA buttons. Okay, once you are done, okay, just click on it again and make it deselected. Okay, so now this is clickable. You can click here. You see, when I click on it, welcome to VBA world. You see this? Now let's go and see other things here. So after this, we saw the button name, right? So I would say VBA critical. What happened? VBA critical, and I want to give a title. Welcome. Okay. So when you say critical, that critical message has to be saved here, right? So I'll give a variable name called message input or something equal to. Okay. So whatever you click, that information has to be saved in a variable. So I'm creating a variable message input. You can create any name, right? And this will save whatever you are clicking on this. See, before when we were running this only message box without any of this button, we had only one OK, right? So there is no need to capture that OK. But for critical, you have to have this. Okay. So when you click here, you see this cross, red cross. Okay. This is called VB critical. Generally when there's error or something has gone wrong, you want to display this message box. Okay. It attracts users' attention, right? Title I gave welcome. So this is the welcome thing. Okay, I can go and say VB. Okay. It should appear. Wait, it's not appearing. So let me do it again. VB. Okay. Now let's say I try message help button, or let's say VB information. So you see how information is different compared to critical thing. Okay. Now, yeah. See, I give extra brag. So need to stop here. See, this is debug mode where it is showing you the error. So once you are done fixing the error, you need to stop the debug mode. So I have to say reset here, the square button. This is play, this is stop. So I reset it. Now I can go and click on this welcome message. You see, you get I, unlike cross. Critical is cross, here you get I. This is your welcome message. Now, what I want to do is, I want to create a column here. Let's say I create one small form. Okay. I say name, city, phone. Okay. Let me create this form here. Format cells, font, bold, maybe create something like this. Okay. And then I'll create border. Okay. Format cells, border, and I create a border, outline border. Inner, I'll create something very light. So I'll change black to gray and I create inner lines. Okay, so you got this. If you have to move or play with it, you have to go to designer mode, right? Design mode, and then I can drag it here, let's say, right? And what I'll do here, I'll just shade it to make it look a little different. Okay, so I'm done. So I'm going to remove the design mode. Here I'm say, let's say you fill in the information. Okay, and by default number will be right aligned. I make everything left aligned. Okay, now when you go here, okay, you go design mode, view code. Okay, and I want to read that message, what is there. Okay, I want to read that message. So how do I read that message? I'm going to read it like a name, like a variable. So name, you start with this workbook. Okay, now when you have multiple workbook, you can actually take information from different workbook. Okay, so there you can say, you can use that workbook name, file name. But anyway, this is our workbook, so we don't have to say this workbook. We can directly take sheets. Okay, sheets, bracket open, okay, quotation, and you give the sheet name. I want to read message from sheet name. Now, since this is also on the same sheet, you don't even have to keep sheet name only. You can directly say cells. Okay, but sometimes we might have to call it from different sheets. Okay, better you give the sheet name here. So I'm going to say copy sheet welcome dot cells. I want to read the value of these cells. So you say cells, and in cell you give row comma column. Okay, so this is 5 comma C. Row is 5, column is 3, C is 3. Okay, so I can say 5 comma 3. Okay, and um, um, okay, I want to know the value, right, from this. So I'll say value. Okay, so now this name variable, okay, the name is a variable which is storing the value from, which is storing value from which cell? Sheets welcome. So sheet by name welcome. Okay, and cells 5 comma 3, correct? And it's taking the value of this. Okay, so you can read this way, or you can even read in another way. I'll tell you. Okay, so what I'm just thinking is, after reading name, okay, let's display the message here. Okay, okay, we will display this message here as well. Okay, I'm just trying different ways. Okay, for you, you used to learn this message, and based on your requirement, you can change it later. Okay, I'm just saying how to access these values. I'm building my own, workflow on the fly. Okay, so let's say I want to display this message here. Okay, and I want to display in whatever settings you want. You can make those settings 14 bold, you know, Arial black, whatever. Okay, all this is done. Fine. So I'm going to read this message, and then I'm going to create my own message out of this. Okay, so my message is, okay, let me read city also. Okay, so one way is sheet name dot cells. Second thing is you can use range function as well. Okay, and both work same way. There is some slight difference. Okay, when you are giving cells, you have to give cells in number 5, 3, fifth row, third column. Okay, when you're giving range, you have to give like C1, okay, A1, that way. So what is the value of city here? City is C6, isn't it? So I'll say C6, comma, value. Okay, now let's make a message. Message, I'll say text equal to hello. Okay, hello, name. Okay, um, um, hello, name. Um,
Okay. And I am from this city, like.
yeah, hello, name. Okay,
I am
let's say comma.
from.
Hello, name. I'm sorry.
I am from. You can keep in
Hello,
quotes like
name. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. From. Okay,
from.
from um, city. Right? Hello, Sachin from Mumbai, comma, welcome to our world. Something like that. I don't know. Right? So this is all fine. And now I will, instead of printing hello, welcome to VBA world, I'll put this text here. Right? Now let's run this and see if what we're trying to do is right or not. Okay, this is in design mode. Change it. Okay, debug. Okay, this is saying out of range. Okay, C6 only, right? Okay.
Swapnil, like every time, like we need to click on that design mode.
No. You don't have to. Only when
Oh,
you are doing something on the UI side, then you click. Okay. If you're doing something on the design side, right? Then you click.
I mean, like
Uh,
if this will be your writing code, every time you write, we need to save the file so that whatever changes we did in file, it will reflect in that Excel one.
correct. Correct. So maybe I think it's sheet. Okay, not sheets. Let me try. Okay. No. So it's saying, see, is it oh, it becomes Sachin Tendulkar here.
Change
Why?
it.
That's
Uh,
why it's giving error.
mm,
Wait, I did not change it, right? Let's see, is it changing? Yeah, it should be sheets only. Okay. It's changing here. Okay. We are reading. Okay, name. Okay, you know what? Okay, I think I got it. Why it's happening? I got it. Why it's happening? Okay, so name is a keyword. Oh, sorry. Okay, 1 second. I should have closed the WhatsApp. I didn't. Wait. I always forget to do that. Okay, I think it's closed now. Okay. So, okay. So this name is the keyword that is given for this tab name, sheet name. Okay. So when we said name, right, it is changing the name here. Okay. So that's why I changed the variable name to name info. Okay. Name is fixed. Okay. So you should not use name. Okay. Name info, and I'm reading. And now you see the message that we got. Okay. Hello, welcome from Mumbai. Hello. Now, welcome. This is not right. Okay. Sheet welcome dot cells. Hmm. And so this is 5,3. 5,3. It's so confusing. Why? What happened? Welcome dot cells name. See, I'm using name here, right? So name is the sheet name, correct? Now it's correct. Hello, hello, name info from city. Welcome to our world. And at the same time, what I'll do is I will fill in. Okay, so you can say value equal to, okay, text info or name info, right? It's a name info. Okay, name info. So this is F11. Okay, F11. F11 name info. Now, when you run it, hello Sachin Tendulkar from Mumbai, welcome to our world. Okay, and then this got populated here. Okay, but why did it print only Sachin Tendulkar? Because we are saying equal to name info, right? Name info is only Sachin Tendulkar. If you want to fill the entire thing, to replace with text here, right? So now, so this got, right? So this is how you can play with your VBA code. Yes.
Can you show that code once?
Yeah. Yeah. So I think code is already opened here, right? So yes.
In that VB information, like when we click on that button, some other button will, like on the top it is coming, right? That welcome.
No, button we have added manually, right?
Yeah, that's okay. I'm saying like in message input, that message box text is it is displaying, and VB information given welcome.
See, I'm reading the value from the cell F53, right?
That
And I'm
name.
reading, so here I'm reading the value from C6, right? So these two are to read the value from the cell, correct? Now, this is a simple string which I'm creating. I'm concatenating all the information, right? So this is a simple string, text.
But
Hello, when you add something in quotation, it is as it is, plus
yeah,
the information, plus as it is, plus the value, plus
variable.
as it is, right? So this is what I am creating as a text. Now, in the message box, I'm printing text. So
Okay.
this is a function which will call the message box with VB information that you will see that, the exclamation mark in blue. This is the title of the box, and this is the
That
content
was
that is getting displayed.
Okay. And
This is
like,
the title of the box.
yes,
This is the
yeah.
type of box, and this is
Okay.
the text that should be displayed there. Finally,
Okay.
what we are doing is this same text, what we created here, we are displaying here also, and we are printing it in a specific cell.
Okay. I mean, the box where you have created like that, there's some another button you created like
Yeah, yes.
that is F11. Okay.
Okay, okay. Now let's do one more example. Yeah.
There like at first you have written text equal there, that is like assigning. We are
Yes, I'm
assigning.
assigning the values. Yes, yes.
Here you have written the right side are equal to text. The
Correct.
value you are just keeping in this. Okay.
Yeah.
And that private indicates like what's the private
Private
in this.
indicates, see, it depends upon, okay, this is called, like, you can have, if you don't put anything, here I have not put anything, correct? So it is
Yes.
like public, okay? You can call from anywhere, okay?
Okay.
And
And
this is private means it can be only called from that sheet. You can't call from some other sheet.
and also the only the button is fixed button. If you click
That's the
on that
name. You can give anything. That doesn't
okay,
matter.
I'm saying, I'm what I'm saying is like, that message input, whatever box you have created, right? If you
Uh-huh.
click on that button only, it will wherever you have clicked means it won't display. I think, right? On that button only, if you have click on, then only it will do. Is
Okay,
that
correct. So see here, what we have done is this command that you see, the function name, we have linked it to the button click.
on that only I'm saying
Correct,
only
correct.
if you,
Wait, let me complete. Let me complete. So
okay.
this function name we have linked to button click. Okay. So this function will be called only when you click the button. When the
Mm.
click thing happens, this will be called.
That okay, fine. Only on that particular button, or else like anywhere if you
That's what
click
I'm
means it,
saying. No button click. No button click. We only call.
okay.
Why anywhere else? Because I've
Okay.
added command
I
on
mean,
button click.
what I'm saying, like
So
if there are two buttons means, if only for that particular button
button,
it will
no,
do,
yeah.
or
So
else like,
that button is called command button one, isn't it?
okay,
Okay.
that's
Now, if you create one more button, okay, and
hmm.
you say that no, button two should also call button one click, then this will be called.
Okay. That means like then okay, depends
Correct.
on the schema for
So
that
yes,
button.
there are two things. Okay, there are two things. One is the code. Okay. Second thing is the action. Okay. If you say on action, I want to call button one click only. It is button 10. But you say button 10 should also call button one click. Then you can link that to button one click. Okay.
That
So, okay, in the front end, okay, in the Excel, you have to say button 10 on click. Um, uh,
for a particular, I mean, for each button, will we write the code? We need to
correct,
mention which button the code, which code need to
correct,
execute.
correct,
Other-
correct, correct, correct. Code is written only once and you can
Okay.
call it multiple times. That is fine.
Okay.
But
Okay.
other way is not fine. One button click cannot have two functions, right?
And that yes,
One
I got
button click cannot have two functions, but one function can be called by multiple button clicks.
buttons. Yes, yes. And that private, you're saying something that private
Private is only available in this sheet. Okay. If you call from sheet 2, this will not be called. Okay. Now, when I said any button click on the same sheet. Okay. Typically, they add private because when you go to sheet 2 and again you create a button, again it will be command button 1 only by default. Okay. So it will create a clash. Okay. That's why
okay,
we put private, that it is from
that
this. Yeah.
only
It
this will
can't be
come
called from other sheet. Yes.
only this particular sheet for this button will execute this action.
Correct.
Okay.
And when you do not put public, it can be called from anywhere.
In any sheet we can call like
Yes.
okay.
So this can be
And
called from anywhere.
yeah, got it. So, like how many buttons we created, like that the number will increase it for command one
Correct,
button
correct,
two.
correct. So see, the it will not automatically create. You have to go and see what we did was, or we double clicked on it button. When we
Yeah,
double
yeah.
clicked on button, it created this,
Mm.
right? So yes,
Similarly,
if you
they can
double
do
click
that.
on it, you will get this.
I'm saying that automatically it will create, right, that private
When
sub,
you
like
double click on it, yes, it will
automatic.
create, yes.
Okay. In that inside, like and whatever we need to write the code, we need to write in between that function only.
Sub and end sub.
Like in between those two, we need to
Yes,
write.
correct. Between sub and end sub.
Sub indicates it's like function.
Correct. Beginning of function and end sub indicates end of function. So all the logic for that function should be between this sub and end sub.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes, Swapnan got it.
Okay. So let's do one more thing. Okay. Before we call it a day, I want to do one more thing. Okay. Now this one, okay. Let me think of this. Okay. So let's say I have some values from here till here. Okay. Let me, for my reference, let me create some border. Okay. So that I know what I'm talking about. Okay. So I go and, okay. And let me shed this. Okay. Now, let's say this is value 1, or let me do something like this. Marks 1, marks 2, marks 3, marks 4, marks 5. Okay. Marks 5, marks 6. Okay. Let me have this thing so far. Okay. So this is C12 to C17, right? Okay. Let's go to the code and let me write another function. Okay. So I'm going to call this as private sub. Okay. I'll call it a cell change. Okay. I want to call this function when any value in that particular cell changes. When you make any changes, it should be called. Okay. If you don't make any changes, it will not be called. Okay. But if you make any changes, then only it will call. Okay. Okay. So I call it as cell change. And let me take here, okay, a value. Okay. Here I'll also want to take input. Okay. I'm going to say by val, okay, target as range. Okay, range. Okay. So I also, so here earlier I'm not taking any input. Now I'm taking an input also. Okay. And I'll tell you what I want to do with the input. Okay. Now I'm going to declare a variable. This is how you declare a variable. Okay. Dim is for declaring. Okay. I say key cells as, let's say I call it as range. So I'm saying that key cell is a value which will store a range as its value. Okay. Now I'm setting it. I'll set key cells, okay, as range. Okay. Now what was the range I wanted? I wanted, let me select the entire thing. C12 to C23. C12 to C23. Okay. So Okay, so all values will be here, okay, in this. Now, okay, now, um, uh, okay, uh, okay. So I'm going to write if condition. Okay, if means if something happens, then only you perform this. Otherwise, don't perform. What happens? Okay, application. Okay, dot intersect. Okay, application dot intersect. Okay, and I'm saying here key cells. Okay, okay, key cells, comma, range, target dot, sorry, address. Okay, target dot address, okay, is nothing. Then, okay, then let me put a simple message box and then we'll do something. Values have changed. Okay, and you have to say end if, ending the if. I think I missed something here. It should be not. Okay, if not. Okay, see, not means, okay, see, if this whole thing is condition, if this condition is true, only then whatever you have put inside will happen. Otherwise, it will not happen. Okay, so what I'm saying is, I'm saying range target address. Okay, so target address is this one, right, by val. Okay, if there is intersect, that means whatever we have given here and the value that we are giving here, okay, this is cell change. Okay, uh, okay, let's see this. Okay, it is cell change or worksheet change. Okay, let's try here first. Okay, yes, sorry, it's worksheet change, not cell change. What it says is, if anything in the worksheet changes, if anything in the worksheet changes, this function will be called. Okay, anything in the worksheet changes. And when this function is called, it also gets which value in the worksheet has changed. Which value in the worksheet has changed. Okay, so if you make any changes here, okay, here, also this function is called, that function is called. So that function is called, and then function here checks, okay, intersect. Is it part of this? No, it is not part of this. So then it will go to else. The condition becomes false, it will go to else. Okay, if the change is part of here, okay, then only this condition becomes true, and then this message is fired. Did you get it?
Oh, can you come again, Swapna, like the
Yes,
hand
yes,
one?
yes, yes, yes. Let me put it in center. Okay, so worksheet change, okay, the worksheet change is a function that is automatically triggered when you make any changes in the worksheet.
That
Okay,
function name you have given the worksheet change, like
change, correct.
any you can keep, but you have given that name. Okay.
No. Worksheet change is a function which is called automatically.
Okay, like any name we can give, right? Like,
No, worksheet
uh,
change only. It's a fixed name.
okay.
Okay. See, if you give any name, then you have to call it specifically. Okay.
Okay.
Now, same thing in command button click, we linked it to the command click, right? That's why we don't have to call it. Now see, test one is not called because we have not specifically called it. That's why that said test one is not being used. We have to call specifically. But there are some functions which have a predefined meaning. Worksheet underscore change has a predefined meaning. If there is any change in the worksheet change is called. If there is no change, this will not be called. Okay. So first thing is the worksheet, the function name, which is worksheet change. Second thing is when you say by val, you can give anything by val. Val is a variable. Target as range. Target means what change, where the change has happened. What is the target of the change? Target location, where the change has happened. So if I add 2 here, or I add 2 here, or delete any change, okay? Change doesn't mean adding data only. You are changing, editing, deleting, everything is change. So it will give me F16 there. So by val is F16, target is F16. We made changes in F16. So by val will be F16. And this will be called any time you make any changes in the worksheet. Every time you make change, this will be called. Okay. So I'm saying by val target as range means by val is called, okay, or sorry, worksheet change is called with by val as the target, where the location or where the change has happened. Okay. So now when this function starts, you have by val which says F16. Now our logic, we are reading a variable and we are adding value C12 to C23 in key cells. So key cells has only C12 to C23. Now read this in multiple format. First, read this. It says application intersect key cells comma range. This is your F16. Target dot address is F16. F16 and key cells, if they match, okay, is nothing. That means if there is no match, is nothing, no match. Not no match. Understood? Is nothing. So when I say not is nothing, that means there is something. Okay, there is some intersection. There is some common element between key cells and target. Let me know, do you understand this?
No.
Why no?
Like,
see, this is F16. This is C12 to C23. Okay. Is there any interaction? Is something happened here? Is there nothing? No, there's nothing, right? So this is not called.
I mean, like whatever the cell we have
Common,
selected, it will.
has to be something common between them.
Okay, it will. I mean, it will see whether that particular cell is in within this range or not.
Intersect means what? Okay, so if you have okay, when I say C12 to C23, that means this has values C12 comma C13. I can even give C12 to, let's say, D16 or D15, let's say. That means I have C12, C13, C14, C15, D12, D13, D14, and D15. Correct?
Yes.
I don't know why it's getting small letter. It doesn't matter. It's case insensitive, so it doesn't matter. Okay, so you get C12 to C15, D12 to D15. Okay, now in this is the first. This is our this one where key cells. Okay, target is giving us the cell that you are changing, F16 or whatever, right? I made change in the F16 this time, right? This is F16. So this function is checking, is there any intersect? Is there any common value between them? Okay, common value between them is nothing.
Yes, it's like it's out of range, like.
Right, no, don't out of range, common, just common. Okay, so is nothing? Yes, it is nothing in this case. Okay, so is nothing is true, correct? So application is nothing, then the So in this case, F16 and C12 to C23, there is no common. So is nothing is true, correct?
Yes.
Is nothing is true, everybody.
Yes.
In this example, in this particular example, F16 and sorry, here it is not, I just took that for your example here. So this is the first set, okay? So I'm saying intersect this one, comma, this one. In this case, is it nothing or not?
Yes, nothing.
Is nothing, correct? So is nothing will become true. Yes? So is nothing, I'm saying is nothing. So again, understand logically. Intersect is giving us the common between values between them. I'm asking, is it nothing? Is nothing? Yes, it is nothing. There's no common between these two values, correct? So
Yes.
is nothing, so this entire thing becomes true. This entire thing becomes
How it
is nothing. I'm asking, have you eaten? You said yes. That means what? Yes, right?
will.
Okay. I'm saying, have you not eaten? And if you have not eaten, so what it is? It is yes or no? True. You will say yes, true. Have you not eaten? What is the answer? True or false? Correct? It can either be true, it can be either be false. It can't be something other than that. Have you eaten? Answer is yes or no. Yes or no?
Yes. For particular this no.
Ah, so particular this thing, okay? And I'm saying, have you not eaten? Nothing I'm asking is not, I'm not saying something. I'm saying, have you not eaten? Answer is yes, because you have not eaten. There is nothing in common.
Yes.
I'm saying not, nothing. I'm not saying something, right? I'm saying nothing. Have you not eaten, right? That's what it means. And answer is no. Is there intersection between these two? Is it nothing? Is there no intersection? Is there no intersection between these two? Answer is yes, there is no intersection between these two. So this entire thing is true. Take
Yes.
take a couple of seconds and tell me, everybody.
Yes, yes. Like since there is no intersect between them,
Correct. I'm saying is nothing means there is no intersection. So
no.
because it is easy to check nothing than to check something, right? Because something can be multiple things, can be one common, two common, multiple common. So is nothing is simple, correct? So I'm saying, is it nothing? Answer is yes, it is nothing. Now what I did, I put not here. Not means what? Not yes means no. Not no means yes. So in this case, answer is yes. This answer is yes. True. In programming language, we say true, false. Okay. It is true. I'm saying not true. Not true is?
Yes.
Yes. So this entire thing becomes what?
Oh. Okay.
See, this is your C12 to C23. This is F16. I'm talking
Yeah.
about the intersection between these two. Intersection between these two is blank.
It's blank.
Is it blank? Yes, it is blank. Not yes is what?
It's nothing.
False. Not true is false. True or false? Two options. Yes, no.
Yeah, it's false.
It's false. When it is false, it will not go inside this.
Then values should not have changed.
This should not have printed, isn't it?
Yes,
So it is not printing,
okay.
right? If you make change here or here, it is not printing. Now, if I go and make this change here, where? In C12. Now, if I make any value change in C12, okay, so key cells is C12 to C23. This is C12. That means there is some intersection.
Yes. Then
Is
that will
nothing is false. Because
false
it's not
means
nothing. It is not nothing. I'm asking,
not
is it nothing? No, it is not nothing. So it is false, isn't it?
okay.
It is false. Not false is?
Then values will be changed.
Not false is what?
That means it's true.
True, yes. That means this is true. True means it will go inside then.
Hmm.
Yes. Now, if you
No.
want, you can put something here else here.
Yeah.
Else also we can. Else means if it is false, then do here. So you can say message box
If someone
values
there,
outside, something like that you can say.
Okay.
Outside have changed. Okay. So now you go here, you make any changes into, say, values have changed. You make change here, I delete it. It's, sorry, values outside have changed. Correct?
Hmm.
So I'm not interested in outside. So I'm deleting this else part. I'm only interested in what happens inside. Okay. So every time you make a change, values have changed. Now you can put your own logic. Okay. You can put your own logic. My logic here is, okay. Now, okay, let's say you put 1 and 6, and here, okay, I put, okay, I put multiple options. Okay. I'll keep a drop down in Excel. Okay. How do I keep a drop down? So first you need to have some values here. Okay. So what I do is I go to this, okay, let's say I want to put something here. So I go to data here. Okay. And in data, you have data validation. Yeah. And data validation. Okay. And here you'll say not any value. Okay. Any value. Okay. And okay, instead of any value you say list. So list will ask the source. Okay. So what I'll do is generally, you can have some rough sheet which you can hide it later. And let's say I want to give options here. Options are sum, average, median, okay, standard deviation. Okay, so there's formula for all of these. Okay, so I'm giving all this formula. Okay, now I come here. Okay, here I'm going to say data validation, uh, list, source. Okay, source. I go here and I select this. I hit enter. I say okay. Now you see, okay, you can select these. Okay, now we have a value here. If you say sum, okay, let me do it here. Okay, sum has value called sum, right? You have sum. Okay, so sum will be from here till here, correct? Then you have average, right? A average, and I'm going to do average from here till here. Okay, I'm putting it so that it will be easy for me to reference it back. Then if you go here and you say median, right? Median, you need to select this. Okay, this is your median, right? Now, let's say standard deviation. Okay, so standard deviation is STD. Okay, STD. Okay, STD EVP. Okay, and here STD STDEV dot P. P is for population, S is for sample. When you have entire data, then you have to take P. Okay, we'll talk about it when we do statistics. Okay, population means when you have all the data. Standard sample means when you have a sample and you want to predict for population. So there's a slight difference in the formula. Okay, so these are the values I want to display here. Okay, so if you say sum, it should give sum here. If you say average, it should give average here. Okay, I got a message, so sorry. Wait, give me a second. Okay, sorry. There's a message from office, so got distracted. Okay, so these are the values. Now, if I come here, okay, which cells are we changing? We are changing B20, right? So what I'll do here, instead of talking about this entire thing, I will only talk about B20. Okay, so if you change B20, is it B20? B20, not D20. Correct? So if you see B20, that's when this message will come, isn't it? Okay. This message will come. Okay. So what I want to do is I want to write a formula based on the value that is there on this. Okay. I want to write formula, okay, based on this. Okay. So if there is a change, then read the value. Okay. So I'm going to say, okay, let it be here so that it, it says at least we have got into this condition. So I'm going to read the value. So formula, I'm going to say formula equal to, okay, I'm going to copy this. Okay. So this is B20, row 20 and column 2. Okay. So if there is a change, I'm going to see the formula. And I'm going to say if form, okay, equal to, if form equal to, okay, if form equal to, okay, then do something, okay, okay, else if, okay, else if, okay, else if form equal to something, then do something. How many conditions we have? We have 4, right? Sum, average, median, standard deviation, right? Else if form equal to do then something, else if, elif is in Python. Else if form equal to this, then do something, okay, else else if form equal to something, then do something, okay, then else, okay, else we'll just print it saying so the answer should be C20. C is 3 equal to not sure or invalid formula. Okay, invalid formula, right? And of course you have to end if, right? Every time you start if, you have to say end if. So this end if is for this if, and inside this if we are writing this. Okay, now if formula equal to media, okay, so it's a spelling, but that's okay, we'll take it as media itself. Then if it is sum avg, sum avg, and so what is the for standard deviation? stdev, stdev. Okay, so for every time we have to form something, right? I'm going to paste it. Now I'm saying if it is median, then I'll take this median formula and I'll copy this and I'll paste it here. So it will exactly paste like this there. That means we can get the value of median, isn't it? Now for sum, what I'll do, I'll go here and that's why I wrote this so that I can easily copy and paste it here. If it is sum, do this. Okay. If it is standard deviation, then do this, right? Standard deviation, do this. If it is average, then take average, take this. Okay, now you see this. Okay, let me change it to sum. Values have changed. See, you got 15, right? Average 2.5. You know, media, okay, 2. Standard deviation 1.6. You don't like this? Irritating, right? It is good to test, but when you are writing real program, this will be irritating. Okay, now you just go, keep changing and you keep getting the value here. Yes? Yes or no?
Yes. Like we
Simple.
have to.
Okay, step by step you build it. Step by step you start building it and you will get it.
Okay. That single quote represents a commenting, right? So that way it
Single,
won't
yes, yes. Single quote is commenting, correct.
Since we put in comment, it won't work.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, so that's it for today.